It's never too late for you to get strong. But Coach Josh, I'm 70 years old. I've never done any strength training and I don't want to get bulky. Number one, bulky being fat, being big, taking up a lot of space, that's really predicated on what you're eating. So you can do cardio to death, 2-3 hours a day, 6 days a week, which maybe is what you're already doing. Or you're taking the same body pump class, Zumba class, step class, yoga class, spin class, whatever, and yet you're still gaining weight. So you're probably eating too much for what you're burning, right? And that's making you bulky. So cardio is making you bulky, right? It's your food. It 100% is your food. And most likely too, you aren't able to get better in those classes. They're just not really structured that well so you can get better. Every class is always so different. It's really hard to know, are we doing 20 seconds, 40 seconds? Am I getting better? Things like that. So it's hard for you to actually progress and make it harder. We got to make it harder so that you will burn more calories. But no, resistance training, strength training isn't making you bulky, but it's making you stronger, having more bone density, especially if you're truly in your 50s, 60s, 70s. It's a great thing. If you fall, if you stumble, just even holding up your frame, right? Also, strength. This is something people don't even consider when they think strength. So there's a reason as you age, you're more likely to take a fall. Now, are you all of a sudden more clumsy? Maybe, sure. But oftentimes what people don't conceive of as causing their fall is the inability to stop yourself on the way down. So picture this. You're walking up the stairs. You've done it 1,000 times. Maybe you get distracted and oops, you catch your toe on the stair and you're stumbling, but what do? You put your foot down, right? You put your foot down, maybe you grab the armrail. Now, I'm not saying as you get older, you're not going to get slower. You will. But are you truly going to get so slow that what in your 50s would have been instantaneous for you to reach your arm out and grab the armrail, some instinctual thing? Do you think your instincts are just going to be gone in 20 years? Probably not. That's probably not. But think back. You put your foot down. You grab that armrail. And you had the strength to stop your body weight from falling. Gravity's pulling you down. You only have the one leg. You're not in balance. All of a sudden, what am I going to do? I'm going to put my foot down, drive power through that leg, drive power into my grip, and I'm going to stop myself from falling. That's what strength training can do for you. Okay? So many people they think, well, it's my balance. So I'm going to go train balance. I'm going to get on this stability ball. I'm going to do this crazy thing that I saw on the stability ball day, not calling them out, but you don't need to kneel on a stability ball with kettlebells in your hand while somebody else hands you kettlebells and their bottoms up. You don't need to do that for balance, okay? Anyway, so being that people confuse balance and strength all the time. So I need to take a yoga class. I need to stand on one leg more. I need to XYZ. No, what you need to do is get so much stronger and have technique, right? Strength and technique. You will gain balance. So let me walk you through one of my favorite strength exercises, a squat, a back squat. In fact, I was just teaching 2 gentlemen today and this is pretty much what I told them. So I train a dad and I train a 14-year-old kid. The kid wants to be a wrestler in a few months. He wants to do better than last year. So I was telling him today that it's not the best, not only is it going to make you stronger in your legs for wrestling, it's not going to make your hamstrings that much stronger, but what it's going to do if you really try to make every single repetition the same, every single one, your likelihood of getting injured is going to be better, right? Because you're not allowing yourself to deviate too much. It's going to pull a little bit of weight. But here's what it's also going to do for your balance. If you try to do the exact same squat every single time and give yourself an intensity, a bar, a dumbbell, whatever, give yourself an intensity that almost nearly pulls you out of position. Almost nearly. Maybe in a set of 8, Repetition 5, you get a little off balance. Repetition 7, you get a little off balance and it just doesn't feel quite right, but you're able to capture it and come back. You do that for 4 to 6 sets on a Tuesday, right? 4 sets of 8 beautiful squats, bar, dumbbell, kettlebell, whatever. And again, as you do more and more sets, it's going to be, instead of just 2 of the reps, maybe repetitions 2, 3, 5, 7, 9. Well, you're doing 8. You are all over the place. Okay. As soon as you feel you are unable to keep the majority of your repetitions consistent, it's time to move on. If you're doing 8, 5 of them should be pretty dang consistent. 3 of them, fine. It can be challenging. It could be your last 3. Maybe you're pushing the weight today so that you can really increase your bone density if that's what you're going for. You're really trying to push that weight today, and all of a sudden the last 3 kind of pulled you out of form every single time in a row. Okay, but again, it's still 5 of those are perfect. Okay? So we don't have to worry about getting bulky from strength training because you're thinking about your eating, not necessarily what it is you're training, but how you're eating, right? You're not going to injure yourself from resistance training, and you're going to increase your balance. You're going to decrease your likelihood of falling on the stairs, okay? So again, I'll take you back to that 14-year-old kid. Here's how it affects your balance a little bit more. As you're going down in your squats, right? You have to go at a certain tempo, maybe 2 seconds down before you come back up. And every repetition, you're going to have the same tempo. On your way down, you're making these micro adjustments all the way down, trying to find this perfect target as you're approaching the floor, and you find that target and you hit it. If you're a little over here, if you're a little over there, if you're a little over there, it may not wreck your technique, it may not wreck your form, it may not stop or prevent you from being able to lift that weight, but you will notice a shift. Great. Now we're working proprioception too. Your ability to know where your body is in space, and you're not doing it just by standing on one leg. You're doing it with a 50-pound dumbbell, with a 200-pound barbell. Whatever it is that you're using as an implement, you're now using external resistance. Hey, when in life do we do stuff like that? Well, let's take you back to the stairs. What's usually in your hand when you're going up the stairs? Groceries, right? I don't know how much groceries you bring in with you at a time, but man, I can't get any more bags on me. I can't get any more boxes in my hand. Usually there's one up against my face and I'm just barely able to get through the door and try to turn sideways as my dog is knocking me, and right? Which, talk about balance training, but you're going up the stairs with stuff in your hands. So even in life, your balance isn't just you. You need to be balanced with other things. You need to be balanced with things knocking into you too, but just get a dog for that. You don't have to have somebody stand there with the stability ball and knock you over at the gym. Just get a dog, especially a wild one like we have, a lab. Anyway, you're doing it with intensity. You're doing it with resistance. So that also brings up the point, every once in a while, change your modality, right? Maybe you're using a bar for 6 weeks. Great. Maybe for 2 weeks you use a dumbbell just to give yourself a little bit of a break. Fine. Maybe you are putting it off to one side because instead of really caring about how strong you are, you're trying to challenge your body from different angles. Great. Okay. That can be core type training if that's what you want. You don't need to do sit-ups to train your core. Literally just put weight in your hand and do something with it. You're training your core. So again, it's wild to me when somebody in their 50s, somebody in their 60s says, there's no way. I'm not going to be able to get any stronger. I'm too old, right? I have this beer belly. I'm too old. I would like for there to be a change, but you know what? I'm fine with, dying inside and just waiting for my body to catch up. That's just not who I am, and that's probably not you, the listener, either. No, I train 70-year-olds, and guess what they do? Deadlifts. That's right. I have this little pipsqueak of a woman in her 70s, and I do mean pipsqueak. I thought my wife was small. This woman is very small. At most, she's 110 pounds. At most. 70 years old, she's that cute little old lady, right? But that cute little old lady will break your neck. She is extremely strong, especially for a smaller person. She's got a great deadlift. Why? It's easy to teach somebody how to deadlift, pick something up, and in life you're going to use that. And it's one of the most effective exercises at training your whole body. If you did deadlifts and then some type of a push off your chest, you're at least doing everything a little bit. Granted, the deadlift isn't the best for your back and it's not the best for your quadriceps, the fronts of your legs, but still you're at least training your lower half, right? So yes, I'm going to have a 70-year-old lady, I'm going to have a 14-year-old kid do the same basic ideas of what those exercises are. And trust me, it is not grab a barbell and slip it into this tube and go side to side with it with 50 pounds. And that's not what it's going to be. It's not going to be, hey, I'm balancing on this Bosu ball and trying to, touch my nose or touch targets that a trainer's holding out for me. Trust me, I used to train with somebody that did that. Okay. It's useless. It makes onlookers look at you either in category A of, oh, wow, that's really intriguing. I bet that's really helping their balance. And I should be doing that too. No, you really shouldn't. And the group B that says, what is that trainer doing? Putting them on a balance ball thing that they're trying to, obviously they're going to fall. And if she falls, she doesn't have the bone density not to break a hip. How about you put a kettlebell in her hands and have her deadlift? How about you have her sit to a chair and stand up, a squat? How about you try to get her hands over her head? Oh, she can't? Well, what can we do? Can we lift our hands up past our collarbones? Great, let's start there. Can she do pull-ups? No. Can she do pull-downs without shoulder pain? Great, yeah, let's do that. Can she do a push-up? Maybe not. Can she hold these 3-pound weights, lay on a bench, lock her legs in, set up, and go through the reps? Absolutely. And let's say she can't. I bet she can go on a machine and start learning, okay? Machines, there are a lot of drawbacks to machines if your goal is balance and coordination, right? But there's a lot of good lessons in training too. A machine does such a good job of making you feel the large muscles. If you're doing a row, if you're doing a push, I always used to have a client that was new to me start on machines so that as I would start giving them commands and giving them cues, hey, you feel that thing right there? Yeah, that's your chest. When I say push all the way through to the top, I need you to feel that, okay? That way, when we do go to dumbbells later, great, you're doing dumbbell chest press and you maybe only locked one arm, push all the way through to the top. Oh yeah, I need to feel my chest. Great. Machines can be an amazing learning tool. And after you've learned the basic chest press, let's say, great, try to do it on the dumbbells. Still doesn't feel good? Go back. Go back to the machine until you're ready. Eventually, you'll do some machine, some dumbbell. Eventually, you'll do some dumbbell and maybe try a bar because it's somewhat similar. It's a little bit more wishy-washy for people when they're first starting. The dumbbells, for some reason, people can coordinate 2 objects easier than 1, but a bar, it's flat, it's straight, it's a little more awkward for people. They don't quite understand what's going on with their body with the dumbbells, so the bar kind of ends up all over the place. But again, if you're not feeling your chest, get on a machine. Get onto an exercise where you can feel it. Where is a medicine ball really good for your chest? If I'm trying to really pump it up, it's not that great if you can't do a push-up but it looks cool because I'm that trainer that's trying to put you on a hedgehog and I want everybody to think I'm the greatest thing. No, what you need is a really simple plan. You need to press this way and that way. You need to pull this way and that way. You need to sit and stand. You need to pick things up off the ground. Those 6 things are all you need. If you're tracking your food and not eating crazy, if you're making each week a little bit harder on those exercises, maybe you pick 2 on a Monday, the other next 2 on a Wednesday, then Friday, maybe you repeat. You can do those exercises twice a week if you want. You could do them all in one workout if you're pressed for time, and maybe you can only train once or twice that week, but 6 exercises is a lot. What? When I go online and look up workouts, there's 28 movements and 5 sets of 10 on everything. And I look at this laundry list, and when I get to the gym, I say, I have to hustle through these first 3, the only ones that matter. I have to hustle through these first 3 so I can get to the other 25. No, how about you pick 3 moves, maybe 4, and just kill it. That way you're not going to be so overwhelmingly sore tomorrow that you actually prevent yourself from even stepping into the gym for a few days. You switch those moves and crush it again. Maybe you're doing 5 or 6 sets at a time. and you alternate those workouts twice a week. Now you're doing 12 sets of deadlifts, 12 sets of squats, 12 sets of chest press, 12 sets of everything. And that's going to put you in a really good place for you to get a little stronger, gain a little bit of muscle. It'll be enough sets and enough repetitions that you're actually burning quite a few calories in the gym. And these movements are extremely easy to track. Squat, I did 5 sets, 8 repetitions, 40-pound dumbbell. Great. When you look at it the next week, I did 5 sets of 8 with 40 pounds. I did that twice in 1 week. Hey, maybe instead of 8s, I'll do 10s. Wow, you just added 10 reps to your workout. Hey, maybe instead of a 40-pound dumbbell, I'll use a 45. Great. Hey, maybe instead of 5 sets of 8, I'm going to do 4 sets of 10. Same amount of volume, but I got to squeak out 2 extra in that set with the same weight. That can be harder. And it can also shorten up your workout just a little bit. Assuming you have good form, this is fine. Because inherently, in between sets, you're going to take a break. You're going to take 60 seconds, 90 seconds, 2 minutes if you're doing a barbell and it's really hard. Maybe 3 if you're really going for it. You don't need 8. No, those guys in the squat rack that are on their phones for 10 minutes, calling themselves powerlifters, some powerlifters need this. You don't need to rest that long. But bro, I want to get... No. Unless you are a competitive powerlifter and you're just about ready to compete, fine, you can take those 10-minute breaks, because in competition, your flight, the amount of people in your heat, whatever you want to call it, you're going to have maybe 8 competitors, 12 competitors, right? That's an 8 to 12 minute break, assuming there isn't blood on the bar, right? Assuming there isn't a misload on the bar. Assuming everything is running smoothly, it's at least 8, maybe 12, maybe 15 if there's an issue. So fine, you can take those breaks, but I do recommend doing some light weights in between if you're going to rest that long. Going back. So you're taking upwards of 3 minutes if it's really, really hard. But again, you're making these little tweaks as you go, as we've talked about before. But the best thing is if you're tracking these workouts and you say, oh, I did 40 repetitions with 40 pounds last week, and you do 41 repetitions this week, maybe you do 40 repetitions at 45 pounds, you just proved to yourself you got stronger, even though you're old. I'll see you next time.